Right here is my analysis for Bitcoin against the USDT on Binance, starting on the monthly time frame. So recently, we broke AF on Bitcoin in March, and we kind of peaked at 73,777 on this chart, and we couldn't break the high again on April, and we retraced, creating a bullish fair value gap, a BISI on the monthly time frame. We did not come to that in April. On Wednesday, in May, we came into it slightly and we expanded up, taking out the open of April, but not the high, creating somewhat of a trend line, as you can see. And in June, we took out that trend line and then started displacing down. So I'll just leave it like this. However, there's still liquidity residing above because that wick was just a touch. So we'll consider that still liquidity, but I'll just leave this here to show that we did take out that trendline liquidity. So now let's go on to the weekly. All right. So this is what we have on the weekly. Actually, on the 2-week, I've annotated this breaker block, or you could call it like an order block as well. So we came into that once here on the next candle and then displaced lower into that monthly gap. We came back into it again. And yeah, we expanded up in that monthly trend line, and in June, the 3rd of June, we took it out and moved lower. So let me just try and make it a bit more clean. So we had this trend line and we took it out here and then moved lower. So on the weekly, it's quite interesting. We have multiple breakers. We have a breaker here. So we created a breaker, price traded into it, came down into the monthly gap. We retraced, created another bullish breaker into that into that weekly bearish breaker. Now we created another bearish breaker. So now we're sandwiched in between these PD arrays. So we're getting quite a bit of a consolidation. Not a very high probability market. Not one you want to trade, right? Because then you're just kind of hoping to get lucky. So yeah, it's very interesting. We created a weekly BISI here. And in the past, there was this weekly BISI here. So you can see price kind of you traded through it. It's kind of either trading right through it or seems to be opening and closing below it. So I'm just gonna keep that there because I'm anticipating price likely coming into here because it displaced down. It came into this weekly gap. Unless it expands today, I don't know. This candle closes in. I guess this new candle will open on Monday. So if we close kind of around here or even lower, I would be anticipating price to come into this bearish breaker, then this bullish breaker, possibly around here in the midpoint. The wick can do what it wants. I want to see what the body does. If we close below, could use this as an inversion, or even this one to come lower first, or we could go higher, right? So let's just put it here. We'll go down to the daily. So this is the high. This is what I'm expecting: retracement into this bearish breaker, and then come back into this bullish breaker. For now, you can have a look on the daily. Okay, I'm just gonna hide these weekly ones, and it did not hide. Sorry, I'm doing it wrong. Okay, that's it. Yeah. So we also have this order block on the daily. The midpoint is right where that breaker starts. It's interesting. And also where that 2 week breaker is. We may come back into that. You see the trendline liquidity here. Spiked up one more time, and then displaced down. So I think we got one more leg down at the very least, and into this daily fair value gap as well. Breaker in here. We could come into there too. Or ultimately, if we create more bearish fair value gaps going down, we'll probably head lower into this monthly gap, maybe into this area or that area, because we're still at quite a premium since the last leg up. It's only consolidating around here. So it could consolidate around here, create somewhat of a bull flag, and then move higher. It's completely possible. Let's go to the 12-hour maybe. Let's call this or the 8-hour, 9, something with a more interesting. I like the breaker here. We had 1 week that came into it, but price can come into it again in a in actual market structure as well. Order block on the 6-hour. Yeah, that's as far as I'll go. So that's a likely scenario for now. I think if we're coming down and we're supposed to come down, then it may be quite a dumpers down. It's this area as well, of course. But if you're just keeping the idea that we're going to go higher, then yeah, it's best to remain flexible right now, not be too attached to this bias of trying to catch too many pips on Bitcoin or on alts. But so far, the weekly looks the nicest. I'm keen to see how this candle closes. Today's Sunday, so next candle will open on Monday. Sunday, not too much movement. We have this wick here. Yeah, it's quite possible. We may see a consolidation but I think we would come into here and then come into this gap here. All right, that's it for this analysis. Till next time, trade safe.